Let me share something most men never realize. Love is not enough. A woman can love you and still lie to you. She can love you and still cheat on you. She can love you and still treat you like an afterthought. But respect changes everything. When a woman truly respects you, her behavior shifts in ways you cannot ignore. The nagging stops. The loyalty shows. The attraction deepens. Respect is the foundation of desire, of trust, of commitment. Without it, everything else is shaky, like building a house on sand. Here's the hard truth. Not every man gets respect. Some are just placeholders until someone better comes along. Others are tolerated, but never admired. And then, there are a rare few, the men women follow, defend, and cherish. So today, we're going to uncover the exact behaviors women show only to the men they deeply respect. By the end of this video, you'll know if she sees you as a leader or just another option. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because if you want to master respect, attraction, and masculine presence, you're in the right place.
Let me tell you something most men never stop to think about. Respect isn't only seen in actions, it's heard in words. The way a woman speaks to you, her tone, her choice of words, the way she handles conflict, says more about her respect than any "I love you" ever could. Now think about this. Every couple argues. Every relationship has arguments. That's normal. But here's the difference. A woman who respects you will disagree without destroying you. She won't turn every conflict into character assassination. She won't use sarcasm to cut you down. She won't embarrass you in front of others just to score points. Instead, she speaks with maturity. She voices her truth, yes, but she does it in a way that preserves your dignity. Because in her mind, tearing you down would mean tearing down the very man she admires. That's what respect looks like in communication. On the other hand, when respect is missing, her words change. They become weapons. Little jabs of sarcasm, subtle digs in front of friends, criticism that doesn't aim to fix anything, only to belittle you. And here's the thing, it's not the volume of her voice that hurts, it's the contempt behind it. And no relationship, no matter how much love exists, can survive long when contempt is in the air. Let me give you an example. Imagine two couples. The first couple argues. The wife says, "I don't agree with how you handled that situation. Next time, maybe we should try a different approach." She's firm, but she's not demeaning. The man still feels like a man, not a child. That's respect, even in disagreement. The second couple argues. The wife rolls her eyes, sighs loudly, and says, "You never get it right. You're hopeless." Everyone in the room laughs awkwardly, but inside, the man shrinks. That's not communication. That's contempt. And contempt is the death of desire. Now here's where most men get it wrong. They think they can fix this by becoming nicer, by giving in more, by trying to please her into changing her tone. But that never works. Because if her words already drip with disrespect, it's not a communication problem, it's a respect problem. And the only way to shift it is not by begging for kinder words, but by living in a way that commands respect. So what does that look like? It looks like holding your boundaries when she tests them. It looks like staying calm instead of reacting with anger or fear. It looks like showing consistency so she knows your word carries weight. When you live that way, her tone changes naturally, because deep down, she speaks to you based on how she sees you. If she sees you as a man of value, her words reflect it. And brother, let me be straight with you. If you're with a woman who constantly belittles you, mocks you, or treats you with contempt, you have two choices. Either you step up
and become a man she can respect, or you face the hard truth that maybe she doesn't belong in your life, because no man should live under the weight of constant verbal disrespect. It will eat away at your confidence, your energy, your very soul. So let me ask you, how does she talk to you? When you're with friends, does she protect your dignity or expose your weaknesses? When it's just the two of you, does she encourage you or cut you down? Her words are a mirror reflecting how much she values you. Don't ignore what that mirror shows. At the end of the day, respect in communication isn't about never arguing. It's about how you argue. It's about whether her words sharpen you or shred you, whether she speaks life into you or drains it out of you. Remember this, a woman can say she loves you 1,000 times, but if her words drip with contempt, love means nothing. Respect isn't always shouted, it's often whispered, in the tone she uses, in the restraint she shows, in the dignity she protects. And here's the truth, respect and communication go hand in hand. Lose one and you'll lose the other. But when both are present, that's when a relationship becomes unbreakable.
Every man says he wants a loyal woman, but here's the problem. Most men don't actually know what loyalty looks like. They confuse simple effort with real commitment. They think because she spends time with them or because she posts pictures together on Facebook, that means she's loyal. But brother, let me tell you, those are surface-level signs. True loyalty runs much deeper. Loyalty is not about what she says, it's about what she does when you're not looking. A loyal woman respects your time, your energy, and your presence. She's not keeping you guessing about where she is or who she's with. She doesn't flirt with backup options while telling you you're the only one. She doesn't say she loves you and then entertain men in her DMs. No. Loyalty is proven in the small, quiet ways she aligns her life with yours. And here's the part most men don't want to admit. If you constantly find yourself doubting her loyalty, it's not just about her, it's about you. Because here's the hard truth. Women don't give loyalty to men they don't respect. If she doesn't see you as a man with direction, discipline, and backbone, she may keep you around, but she'll keep her options open. She'll treat you as temporary, not permanent. Think about that. A woman might say the words, "I love you," but if she's texting other men late at night, if she hides her phone like it's a classified document, if she acts single when you're not around, then what you have isn't loyalty. It's convenience. You're filling space until something better shows up. But when you've earned her respect, loyalty becomes obvious. You'll see it in her consistency, not her excuses. You'll notice it in how she defends you when you're not around. You'll feel it when she turns down other men instantly, without hesitation, because in her mind, you're already enough. Let me give you two pictures. Picture the first woman. She's with a man, but she's still keeping doors open. She's friendly with men who clearly want more. She hides little things, downplays her interactions, and always has a reason when she gets caught. Her man knows something's off, but he keeps ignoring it, hoping her words will matter more than her actions. Now picture the second woman. She shuts those doors before they even open. If another man crosses the line, she makes it clear, "I'm taken." If someone disrespects her relationship, she defends it. She's not just saying she's loyal, she's proving it. And the man beside her doesn't live with constant suspicion because her actions give him peace. Which woman do you think respects her man more? Which man do you think feels stronger, more secure, more valued? And here's the thing, loyalty isn't just about physical faithfulness, it's about emotional loyalty too. A loyal woman invests in your vision instead of tearing it down. She supports your goals instead of mocking them. She stands beside you when things get hard, not just when they're easy. But remember, this kind of loyalty isn't automatic. It's not something you can demand or negotiate. It's something you inspire by the way you live. If you want a woman who gives you loyalty, you must be a man who commands respect. A man who sets standards, lives with discipline, and refuses to settle for half-hearted commitment.
So ask yourself this: are you with a woman who treats you like her priority or like her backup plan? Are you ignoring red flags because you're afraid of being alone? Or are you facing the truth that loyalty without respect doesn't exist? At the end of the day, a loyal woman doesn't make you wonder. She makes you certain. Her actions speak louder than her words. And when you have that kind of loyalty in your life, it changes everything. Because loyalty is more than love. It's proof, it's consistency, it's devotion in action. And without it, all the love in the world won't be enough.
Let me share with you a truth most men ignore. Women don't sacrifice for men they don't respect. A woman may stay with you for comfort. She may keep the relationship going out of habit. She may even say the words, "I love you." But when the storms come, when life gets hard, when the money is tight, when the stress is heavy, if she doesn't respect you, she won't stand beside you. She'll look for the exit. That's because sacrifice is the ultimate sign of respect. Think about it. Why would anyone invest their time, energy, and heart into someone they don't admire? They wouldn't. And women are no different. When a woman truly respects a man, you see it in the way she sacrifices for him. She'll rearrange her schedule to support his goals. She'll step into the tough seasons, not because they're easy, but because she believes he's worth it. She'll pour energy into building with him, not just enjoying the good times, but carrying part of the load when things get heavy. Now, let me give you a picture. Imagine two women. The first is with a man she doesn't really respect. She enjoys his company when life is light, but the moment it gets difficult, she distances herself. He loses his job, and instead of standing by him, she starts criticizing, blaming, and slowly checking out. She's not in it for the long haul, because deep down, she doesn't believe in him. The second woman? She's with a man she deeply respects. When challenges hit, she steps closer, not further away. If he loses his footing, she steadies him. If he faces resistance, she becomes his ally. Not because she's obligated, but because her respect fuels her loyalty. In her mind, she's tied her life to a man who is worthy of sacrifice. So here's the lesson. Sacrifice and respect are inseparable. If she respects you, you'll see it not only in the good times, but especially in the hard times. If she doesn't respect you, you'll notice she only stays when it's convenient. Now, I know some of you listening have been through this. You felt that sting of standing alone when you needed her most. You've asked yourself, how could she leave after everything? But the truth is, her leaving wasn't about the storm. It was about the respect that was never fully there. And brother, here's the part that matters for you. Sacrifice isn't something you can demand. You can't tell a woman, you need to support me no matter what. That never works. True sacrifice is voluntary. It flows naturally from respect. If she sees you as a man with direction, discipline, and strength, she will sacrifice without you asking. If she doesn't, no amount of begging or demanding will change it. So the real question isn't, will she sacrifice for me? The real question is, am I living like a man worth sacrificing for? Because when you're that man, when you stand firm in who you are, when you take responsibility for your life, when you lead with clarity, she will meet you with loyalty and sacrifice. You won't have to wonder. You'll see it in her actions. And if she won't sacrifice for you, if she only takes but never gives, if she's there for the fun but absent in the struggle, then it's time to face the hard truth. Respect isn't there, and without respect, there is no real partnership. At the end of the day, love might make her say the words, but respect is what makes her stay through the storms. Respect is what fuels sacrifice. And when a woman sacrifices for you, not out of obligation, but out of admiration, that's when you know you are the man she believes in. Every man watching this needs to understand one thing. Women will test you. Not because they're cruel, not because they enjoy drama, but because, deep down, they need to know, are you the kind of man they can trust? And here's the catch. These tests are rarely loud or obvious. They're quiet, subtle, almost invisible if you're not paying attention. That's why I call them silent tests. A woman might question a decision you've made, not because she cares about the small detail, but because she wants to see how you'll respond. Will you get defensive? Will you backpedal? Or will you stand your ground calmly, showing her you're confident in your judgment? She might pull back her affection for a few days, not because she's lost interest, but because she wants to see if you'll panic, chase and beg, or if you'll stay centered, showing her that your sense of self doesn't crumble when she shifts her mood. Sometimes she'll push against the very boundaries you set. If you said, "I don't tolerate disrespect," she might test that, not because she wants to disrespect you, but because she needs to know, do you really mean it? Or were those just empty words? Now, let me be clear, these tests are not about manipulation. They're about security. A woman wants to feel safe with her man. Safe emotionally, safe physically, safe spiritually. And she can only feel that safety if she believes you won't break under pressure. Here's where most men fail. They take these tests personally. They see them as attacks. They get angry, emotional, defensive, or worse, they scramble to please her, thinking if they just do everything she wants, she'll stop testing. But the opposite happens. The more you fold, the more she tests. Because your weakness keeps confirming her doubts. Let me give you an example. A woman says, "Why do you always pick the movie? You never let me decide." One man panics. He says, "Oh, sorry, you pick. I just want you happy." He thinks he's being nice, but what she hears is weakness. He doesn't stand by his choices. Another man smiles and says, "Because you know I've got good taste. But if you really want to choose tonight, go ahead." That answer? Calm, confident, unbothered. He's not shaken. He's not defensive. He holds his frame. And that's exactly what earns her respect. You see, women don't respect men who crumble at the first sign of pressure. They respect men who remain calm in the storm. Men who don't confuse love with neediness. Men who don't mistake leadership for control. And here's the uncomfortable truth. These silent tests never really stop. They don't end after a few months or even years of marriage. They're built into the psychology of attraction. Because deep down, she wants reassurance, again and again, that she chose the right man. And if you're consistent, those tests get lighter, easier, even playful. But if you keep failing them, they get harsher, louder, and more damaging. So how do you pass these tests? You don't fight them. You don't complain about them. You pass them by being unshakable, by staying grounded, by knowing who you are and refusing to compromise that identity just to win approval. Let me give you something to reflect on. The next time she challenges you, whether it's questioning a choice, pushing your boundary, or pulling back her affection, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, am I about to respond like a grounded man, or am I about to react like a boy seeking validation? That moment of self-awareness can change everything, because here's the truth. These tests aren't about her. They're about you. They're about whether you're living as the kind of man that commands respect. And once she feels that strength in you, the tests become less about doubt and more about reassurance. At the end of the day, a woman doesn't want to break you. She wants to believe in you. She wants to feel in her bones that no matter what storm hits, you'll stay calm, steady, and strong. And when you can show her that,
over and over again, she won't just respect you. She'll admire you. She'll trust you. And that trust will form the foundation of a relationship that no test can shake.
Let me tell you something most men never connect the dots on. When a woman truly respects you, the nagging stops. Every man knows the feeling of nagging, that constant drip of complaints, reminders, or criticism that makes you feel like you're living under inspection. You forgot to fix the sink, you didn't take out the trash, you said you'd call but didn't, and on it goes. Most men think nagging is just part of a woman's personality. That's just how women are, they say. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Nagging isn't about her nature, it's about her level of respect for you. Think about it this way. When a woman respects you, she doesn't feel the need to manage every detail of your life. She doesn't feel like she has to police your actions. Why? Because she trusts you. She trusts that if you say you'll do something, you'll follow through. She trusts that you'll take care of what needs to be taken care of without her standing over your shoulder. That trust is what creates peace in a relationship. Now let's flip it. When respect is missing, nagging becomes her way of compensating. It's like her subconscious is saying, I can't rely on him, so I need to remind him. I need to push him. I need to manage him like a child. And once that dynamic starts, attraction dies. Because no woman wants to mother the man she's supposed to admire. Here's the mistake most men make. When nagging shows up, they try to fix it by pleasing her more. They over-explain, they say yes to everything, they rush to prove themselves. But the more they bend, the worse it gets. Because every time you fold, you confirm her suspicion that you're not the man she can lean on. So what's the real solution? It's not about silencing her complaints. It's about earning her respect. And that begins with 3 simple things: boundaries, discipline, and consistency. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you set a boundary, hold it. If you give your word, treat it as law. When she sees that your words and actions line up, she stops needing to check on you. The nagging fades because trust replaces it. Let me give you an example. Imagine 2 men. Both are asked to fix a broken shelf at home. The first says, yeah, I'll get to it. But weeks go by and nothing happens. The shelf is still broken, his woman is frustrated, and she keeps reminding him over and over until it turns into constant nagging. Now picture the second man. He either fixes it that same day or says, I'll handle it this weekend. And when the weekend comes, he actually does it. That man won't hear endless reminders. Why? Because his actions built trust. She knows his word means something. Respect is not built in grand gestures. It's built in small acts of reliability. And over time, those small acts create a reputation. She knows that when you speak, she can relax. That when you lead, she can follow without worry. That when you make a promise, she doesn't need to keep tabs. And brother, let me tell you, there's nothing more attractive to a woman than the peace that comes from knowing she can count on you. When that peace is there, nagging disappears. It doesn't need to exist. So if you're tired of feeling like you're living under constant criticism, don't look at her as the problem. Look in the mirror. Ask yourself, am I living like a man who commands respect? Or am I living like a man who invites supervision? The answer to that question determines whether she treats you like a partner or like a project. And the truth is, once a woman respects you, her voice changes. The complaints turn into encouragement. The criticism turns into admiration. Instead of telling you what you didn't do, she starts appreciating what you did. That shift is powerful. It's the difference between feeling drained by a relationship and being fueled by it. So remember this, if you want less nagging, stop trying to silence her. Start giving her reasons not to doubt you. Respect kills nagging, not apologies, not excuses, not pleasing. Respect. There's something most men never stop to consider. Time is a woman's most valuable currency. She can say she loves you. She can smile, send messages, even talk about a future together. But if she doesn't give you her time, real, intentional time, then brother, you don't hold her respect. Because here's the truth. People spend their time on what they value most. Think about this. We all get 24 hours in a day. A woman has choices: family, work, friends, hobbies, distractions. Where she chooses to spend those hours tells you exactly where you stand in her heart and in her mind. When a woman respects you, she prioritizes you. She doesn't squeeze you into the leftover minutes of her schedule. She makes space. She rearranges commitments. She shows you, not with words, but with presence, that you matter. And let me tell you, that presence is powerful. Because when she invests her time, she's investing her life. Now, let's flip it. When respect is missing, you become the filler. She'll see you when she's bored, when plans with others fall through, when she has nothing better to do. You're not her priority. You're her convenience. And deep down, you feel it. The canceled plans, the delayed replies, the constant maybe next time. Those aren't accidents, they're signals. Here's the mistake most men make. They chase harder. They accept scraps of her time, telling themselves at least she's here. But what they don't realize is this: accepting leftovers kills your value. You're teaching her that she doesn't need to prioritize you because you'll always be available anyway. Let me give you two pictures. The first man asks his woman to spend the weekend together. She says, "I'll try, but I might be busy." Friday night comes and she's with friends. Saturday, she's running errands. Sunday, she's too tired. He gets 2 hours squeezed in between. That's not respect. That's convenience. Now picture the second man. He says, "Let's plan Saturday together." She clears her schedule. She tells her friends, "I'm busy." She looks forward to it, not because he begged, but because in her mind, his presence matters more than distractions. That's respect, and that's desire. So here's the question every man needs to ask himself. Am I the priority or the backup plan? Because a woman's calendar never lies. And brother, this isn't about controlling her time. This is about reading the truth in how she chooses to spend it. If she respects you, she will want to spend time with you. She will seek you out. If she doesn't, you'll always feel like you're chasing. Here's the Stoic lesson. Don't measure her respect by her words. Measure it by her presence. Respect shows up when she cancels distractions to be with you, when she invests hours into building a future, when she gives you the same attention she gives to what she values most. And here's the part that stings. If she never makes time for you, you need to stop making excuses for her. You need to stop convincing yourself that tomorrow will be different, because time doesn't lie. Time always reveals the truth. At the end of the day, love can be spoken, promises can be broken, but respect shows up in the hours she gives you. Because no woman invests her life's most valuable currency into a man she doesn't admire. So remember this, if she respects you, you'll feel it in the way she makes time for you. If she doesn't, you're just an option on her list. And the longer you accept that role, the longer you stay exactly where she put you, on the sidelines of her life. Here's something most men overlook. The real measure of a woman's respect for you isn't just how she treats you in private, it's how she treats you when the world is watching. Think about this. In private, a woman might be affectionate, warm, even loving, but step into a room full of friends, family, or coworkers, and suddenly she's making little jokes at your expense. She cuts you off mid-sentence. She rolls her eyes when you speak. And you're left standing there, smiling awkwardly, while something inside of you dies a little. That, my friend, is not respect. That's performance. And no matter how much love she claims to feel behind closed doors, if she doesn't back you in public, something's missing at the core. Because when a woman truly respects her man, there's no switch. She doesn't treat him like a king at home and a clown in public. Her admiration is consistent. It doesn't matter if it's just the two of you or a crowded dinner table, her behavior aligns with how she truly feels. Now, don't get me wrong. Respect doesn't mean she agrees with everything you say. Disagreement is normal, but there's a difference between disagreeing with maturity and undermining you for sport. A woman who respects you knows the difference. If she has an issue, she'll bring it up at the right time, in private, not by embarrassing you in front of others. Let me paint you a picture. Two men. The first, he's at a family gathering. His wife smiles at him in private, but makes sly comments when others are around. "Oh, don't let him pick the wine. He always chooses the cheap stuff." Everyone laughs, but he feels small. She thinks it's harmless humor, but to him, it cuts deep. Because what it really shows is that she doesn't value his dignity enough to protect it. Now, the second man, his woman stands beside him in public. If she disagrees, she keeps it respectful. If she thinks differently, she finds the right moment to say it. And when he speaks, she listens, not with blind obedience, but with genuine regard. He feels it. Everyone else sees it. That consistency builds his confidence, and it deepens their bond. Which of those men would you rather be? Here's the hard truth. Respect in public is one of the clearest signs of respect in private. You can fake affection when the doors are closed. You can fake smiles when it's convenient, but you cannot fake the way a woman carries herself beside you when the eyes of others are on her. And here's the flip side. When respect is missing, the cracks always show. She might praise you when no one's around, but dismiss you in front of friends. She might act like your partner in private, but treat you like a burden in public. That inconsistency eats away at a man's spirit. Deep down, he knows the truth. Her admiration isn't solid. So, how do you know if a woman really respects you? Watch her when there's nothing to gain. Watch her when she doesn't think it matters. Does she stand by you in a group? Does she defend you when someone criticizes you unfairly? Does she treat you with the same regard in front of strangers as she does when it's just the two of you? Because here's the bottom line. Respect isn't about the big speeches or the grand gestures. It's about those subtle moments when she could belittle you but chooses not to. When she could embarrass you but instead protects your dignity. That's the kind of woman who truly respects her man. And if you're not seeing that consistency, if you're being treated like royalty at home but ridiculed in public, it's time to stop making excuses. It's time to ask yourself the uncomfortable question: is she really respecting me, or is she just tolerating me? At the end of the day, respect isn't seasonal. It isn't conditional. It's either there in every setting, or it's not real. And if it's not real, no amount of love, passion, or romance can cover that hole. So remember this. A woman who respects you doesn't just hold your hand in the dark. She stands beside you in the light.
Let me tell you something most men misunderstand. Submission isn't something you force out of a woman. It isn't obedience. It isn't control. And it's not about demanding she follow your lead. True submission is something she gives freely because she respects you, because she trusts you,
because she knows deep down that you're a man worth following. Now think about this for a second. When a woman respects a man, she naturally lowers her guard around him. She doesn't feel the need to compete with him or take charge of every situation. She relaxes into his leadership, not because she's weak, but because she feels safe. She believes in his judgment. She trusts his direction. And in that trust, she's willing to let him guide. But here's the harsh reality. When a man avoids responsibility, when he constantly looks to her for approval, when he refuses to make decisions, she doesn't feel secure. She doesn't feel like she can lean on him. And so she steps into that leadership role herself, not because she wants to, but because someone has to. And once she's in that role, attraction fades. Because deep down, no woman wants to mother the man she's supposed to admire. Let me give you an example. Two men are planning a date. The first man says, "So, what do you want to do? I don't know, maybe we could try something new. Where do you want to eat?" His energy is uncertain. He's putting the burden of decision on her shoulders. Now the second man, he says, "Be ready at 7. I'm taking you somewhere I know you'll enjoy." He doesn't just decide blindly. He pays attention. He knows her preferences, and he leads with confidence. Which man do you think she's more likely to respect? Which one makes her feel like she can relax, let go, and follow? It's obvious. It's the second one. Because leadership isn't about control. It's about creating safety through clarity and decisiveness. And that's where so many men get it wrong. They think submission is something you demand. You're my woman, so you need to do what I say. But that mindset never works. It doesn't inspire trust. It only creates resistance. Real submission cannot be forced. It can only be earned. So how do you earn it? You earn it by living with standards, not excuses. By being decisive, not hesitant. By standing firm when life throws challenges your way. By showing her, through your actions, that you know where you're going and you're not afraid to walk that path. When she sees that kind of strength, something shifts. She no longer feels the need to micromanage. She no longer questions every decision. She doesn't compete with you for leadership because she trusts your direction. And here's the beauty of it. The moment she trusts you, she'll follow you more willingly than you could ever demand. I've seen this play out countless times. A man who's grounded, who knows his values, who stands by his word, he doesn't have to argue for authority. He doesn't have to prove his worth with shouting or demands. His presence speaks louder than his words, and women respond to that presence with respect. But when a man is unsure of himself, when he bends just to avoid conflict, when he looks to her for constant validation, she feels the weight of leadership falling on her shoulders, and over time, that crushes attraction. So let me ask you this. Do you want a woman who follows you because she fears conflict? Or do you want a woman who follows you because she trusts your strength? There's a world of difference between the two. At the end of the day, submission isn't about dominance. It's about trust. It's about creating a relationship where she feels secure enough to let go. And that only happens when you earn her respect. Remember this, a woman doesn't follow because you demand it. She follows because she believes in you. And once you've earned that belief, you don't need to force anything. Her trust and devotion will flow naturally. So if you want a woman's submission, stop looking for ways to control her. Start becoming the kind of man who leads himself first. Because when you master yourself, she'll gladly, willingly, and even joyfully follow your lead.
A lot of men make a fatal mistake. They separate respect from desire, as if the two live in different worlds. They think, she can love me even if she doesn't respect me. She can still want me even if she looks down on me. But here's the raw truth. Without respect, desire dies. Yes, a woman can love you and still cheat on you. She can love you and still talk down to you. But she cannot truly desire you, cannot look at you with that spark of admiration in her eyes unless she respects you. Think about it. Desire isn't just about looks, money, or status. Sure, those things can grab her attention, but they don't hold it. What keeps a woman's attention is the way you carry yourself, the way you stand firm on your values, the way you lead without needing to control, the way you live with discipline even when no one's watching. That's what turns her head. That's what makes her eyes linger. That's what makes her choose you, not just once, but every day. On the flip side, when a man begs, when he over-explains, when he turns a woman into the center of his entire existence, something begins to die inside her. At first, she might enjoy the attention. She might like the flattery. But over time, she loses respect. And when respect dies, desire follows right behind it. Let me give you an example. Picture two men. The first man constantly chases his woman's approval. He asks, "Are you mad at me?" 100 times. He apologizes for things he didn't even do wrong. He thinks the more he gives in, the more she'll love him. But what happens? She grows cold. Her body's there, but her spark isn't. Now picture the second man. He's present, he's kind, but he's also firm. He doesn't bend just to avoid conflict. He doesn't lose himself trying to keep her happy. Instead, he stands rooted in who he is. And when she looks at him, she feels something different. Admiration, desire, because she sees a man she can respect. And here's the irony. Men spend so much time trying to win a woman's love when what really fuels love, attraction, and loyalty is respect. That's the foundation. Without it, everything else is shaky. So how do you know if a woman truly respects you? You'll see it in the way she initiates intimacy, not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire. You'll see it in the way she looks at you, eyes that say, "I admire this man." You'll see it in the way she values your time, not just demanding your presence, but appreciating it. Respect shows up in those little moments, the way she speaks about you to others, the way she reacts when you hold your ground, the way she adjusts herself around you, not because you forced her to, but because she wants to rise to your standard. And here's the uncomfortable reality. A woman may never say out loud, "I don't respect you," but her behavior will reveal it. If she's indifferent to your boundaries, if she laughs at your discipline, if she only tolerates you instead of admiring you, then her respect is gone. And once it's gone, desire is gone too. At the end of the day, everything we've been talking about comes down to one hard truth. A woman can love you without respecting you, but she cannot truly desire you without it. Love without respect turns into pity. Attraction without respect turns into manipulation. Commitment without respect, that's just convenience. So brother, if you want real desire, not just comfort, not just routine, but fire, you must earn her respect. Not by demanding it, not by begging for it, but by living in such a way that she can't help but give it to you. Because when a woman respects you, desire flows naturally. It's not forced, it's not faked, it's real. And that respect and desire together, that's the fuel for a relationship that doesn't just survive, but thrives.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to one truth most men avoid. A woman can love you without respecting you, but she cannot truly desire you without it. Respect is the foundation of everything. Without it, love turns into pity.
Attraction without respect becomes manipulation, and commitment without respect, that's just convenience. So ask yourself the hard question. Am I the kind of man she can truly respect? Not the man she tolerates, not the man she keeps around until something better comes along, but the man she admires, the man she follows, the man she looks at and thinks, that's my man. Because respect is not something you beg for. It's not something you buy. It's something you earn through the way you carry yourself, the boundaries you set, and the standards you live by every single day. If you've noticed these behaviors in your woman, good, you're on the right track. If not, then it's time to look inward, not outward. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your experiences, your struggles, even your disagreements. I'll be reading. And remember, the moment you lose her respect, you lose everything else with it.